LG Stylo 5 versus LG Stylo 4. Let's talk about it. Follow me on Instagram at KevinBreezeTV. Please join the Kevin Breeze Tech community on Facebook to chat about budget smartphones, ask questions, and help others. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, and we're about 1 month away from the official launch of the LG Stylo 5, and already quite a bit has been leaked about the new phone. So most recently, we've had this image here leak out online, and if the colors seem a little bit off here, that's because my printer doesn't know how to print in the right colors. So, brother, if you're watching this video, I'd love to get a free printer and unlimited ink for life. But if you'd like to see a link to the actual leaked image in the real colors, then take a look at the link in the video description, as that'll take you over to Pocket Now, where I got this from. But this looks like a very convincing leak of the LG Stylo 5, and based on this image here, it really says a lot about what we should expect with the new phone. Now, I printed out the leak to be about the same size as my LG Stylo 4, so we can kind of do a side-by-side comparison here. And as you can tell, not a whole lot has really changed. I mean, just by looking at the two phones from the front here, they pretty much look identical. Now, for me personally, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed. Of course, they don't have to necessarily reinvent the wheel, and considering how big of a seller and how big of a success the LG Stylo 4 was, I suppose it makes sense to make this more of an evolution rather than a complete redesign. But it looks like we're essentially getting an LG Stylo 4 body with what I'm assuming will be enhanced internals. So taking a look at the top here, you can see that the front-facing camera and earpiece are in the same exact placements. And then on the far right, we also have the light sensor, and they're both in the same positions. So based off that, it looks like everything on the top is exactly the same. Then down below, we have a similar size lip. So it looks like we're going to be getting pretty much the same exact screen-to-body ratio with the LG Stylo 5 that we have with the LG Stylo 4. Now on the screen here, you can see that the date is Monday, July 15th, and many people, including my friend TechRite, are suspecting that LG did this on purpose to hint at the actual release date of the phone. Now I'm going to be talking about that more in a separate video, so stay tuned for that, but that is pretty interesting, and if that's the case, then we're going to be seeing the LG Stylo 5 in less than 1 month. Another cool thing that you can see here in this leak is the stylus. Now, here is the stylus from the LG Stylo 4, so compare that to the one for the LG Stylo 5, and it looks like the one on the Stylo 5 is a little bit beefier, a little bit chunkier. So that's kind of interesting. One thing's for sure, the stylus on the LG Stylo 4 isn't overly impressive. Of course, for the price of this phone, we shouldn't expect too much functionality out of it. But that being said, it is pretty basic and pretty small and flimsy. So it looks like we might be getting a chunkier, kind of stockier stylus with the Stylo 5, and that's certainly a welcome upgrade. Of course, there's a lot of features that you can find with the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 that I'd love to see incorporated into the stylus for the Stylo 5. Some of those things include having a button on the top here to use the stylus as almost like a remote shutter button. I think that'd be really awesome, and I don't know if that will be incorporated into this new stylus in the Stylo 5. We'll have to wait and see. But at least from this leak here, it looks like the stylus is a little bit beefier, a little bit more durable, and maybe just a little bit more useful. Now, no other angles that I'm aware of have been leaked yet of the Stylo 5, but you can see that we do have the volume rockers on the left side here. They're kind of poking out a little bit in this leak, and those volume rockers line up exactly with the volume rockers on the LG Stylo 4. In addition to that, you can see we have the power button here on the right side, and it also lines up with the power button on the Stylo 4. So it looks like, at least on the front and back and sides, it's exactly the same as the LG Stylo 4, and I'd assume that on the bottom we're probably getting the same exact configuration carried over to the new phone. Now maybe if the stylus is a little bit bigger on the Stylo 5, we will need a little bit larger of a hole here for the stylus, so that might be one modification that the actual body of the phone will have. But we'll have to wait and see about that. In the leak itself, the back of this phone is not green, it's actually silver, kind of a grayish silver, and we don't know yet what that material is, Of course, the LG Stylo 4 is made out of plastic here. Now, this doesn't necessarily bother me because usually I use cases with my devices, so having a case over this would essentially give you the same experience no matter what the material on the back is made out of. But of course, this material on the LG Stylo 4 isn't necessarily impressive. And I suppose two annoyances that I have found with this material is that one, it does pick up quite a few scratches, and I have definitely not used it for a year as my daily driver, and it has tons of scratches on the back. Of course, none of the scratches are too bad or too obvious, but they're definitely there, and once I'm ready to sell this phone on eBay as a used phone, I'm definitely gonna have to mention in my description that there are scratches on the back. So like I said, despite me taking good care of the backside of this phone, it still has picked up quite a few scratches. So even if the material on the backside of the LG Stylo 5 is plastic, I do hope that it is a bit more durable and not as prone to getting scratched. Another thing that I'm not a big fan of this material on the backside of the LG Stylo 4 is the amount of fingerprints that it picks up. And again, we'll have to see with the Stylo 5 if this material does or does not pick up fingerprints. So that'll definitely be interesting. Now there are a few differences here on the back. Now the camera, flash, and fingerprint sensor all look like they're in pretty much the same place. But you can see that on the Stylo 5, the camera and the flash are kind of in a separate little module there instead of being independent from each other on the Stylo 4. Now when I printed off the leak here, I tried to make it about the same size as the Stylo 4, and assuming that they are the same size here and everything's to scale, it looks like the flash might be a little bit larger, but again, that might have just been a mistake that I made when printing this and maybe it's a little bit distorted, so don't necessarily count on that. I've never really noticed the flash to be a weakness on the Stylo 4, so I can't imagine they're giving it a new flash on the Stylo 5. So I'm not sure what the material will be on the back side here. It does kind of look like the material does wrap around the phone though. And it's a little bit different from the Stylo 4, because on the Stylo 4 we have a metal band going around the sides, and then this plastic material on the back is kind of just stuck on there. So definitely some differences here with the material on the back side of the Stylo 5, but I'm still not sure yet what that material is actually made out of. Now, since the design of the LG Stylo 5 is basically the same as the LG Stylo 4, that means that with the Stylo 5 we're definitely going to see quite a few upgrades internally, because if they're not doing upgrades internally and they're not doing upgrades externally, then it's pretty much the same exact phone. Now, one thing I know for sure that we're going to see with the LG Stylo 5 is Android 9 Pie. My LG Stylo 4, which is the LG Stylo 4 Amazon Prime exclusive phone, is still stuck on Android 8.1 Oreo, and I've seen no signs that it will be updated to Pie in the future. I really hope it does, but I don't see it happening. So the Stylo 5 will definitely have Pie, and that will be one of the upgrades that you'll be getting over the Stylo 4. I am pretty surprised that we're still getting a single camera on the backside of the LG Stylo 5, but keep in mind that we're actually seeing this a little more now with budget phones. The Google Pixel 3a, for example, has a single camera on the backside, despite it having one of the best camera experiences out there. And I actually was decently impressed with the camera on the LG Stylo 4, even though it doesn't have dual cameras on the back. So it doesn't mean it's the end of the world since there's only one camera on the LG Stylo 5 on the backside. But it definitely is kind of a departure from what we're seeing more and more with budget smartphones. But a lot of people could argue too that having dual cameras on the backside of a budget smartphone is a bit of a marketing gimmick, trying to make the phone look more impressive than it is. So maybe with the LG Stylo 5, they put all the gimmicks to the side and just wanted to focus on making a really awesome device. Now, some versions of the LG Stylo 4 had 3GB of RAM and some had 2GB of RAM. This version, the LG Stylo 4 Amazon Prime exclusive phone, does have 3GB of RAM, but I would definitely like to see 4GB of RAM with the LG Stylo 5. The LG Stylo 4 has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 processor, so it would be great to see a better processor than that, which I'm definitely expecting it to have. This device has a 3,300 mAh internal battery, and considering that the design of the LG Stylo 5 is exactly the same, then I would expect it to have the same battery capacity because you kind of have to make some major changes to find space for a larger battery. One of the many impressive things about the LG Stylo 4 is that it has a 1080p display at an 18:9 aspect ratio. Now, the aspect ratio on the LG Stylo 5 is definitely going to be the same, And I can't imagine that they're going to do a display at a higher resolution than 1080p because that's already very impressive for the price as it is. And really, I don't even mind. I mean, the display is awesome on the LG Stylo 4, and I don't see a need for the LG Stylo 5 to have anything better than 1080p. Now, this version of the LG Stylo 4 at least has 32 gigabytes of internal storage with the ability to expand that with a micro SD card. And I would love to see 64 gigabytes of internal storage with the LG Stylo 5. Overall, I am very excited about the LG Stylo 5. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm checking off the days on my calendar, so it's going to be a great day when this phone is finally released. In the meantime, I'm looking forward to making more of these speculative, rumor-based videos about the phone, just to kind of drum up the hype about it. And then, of course, when the phone is launched, you know I'll be the first person in line to get it, and I will be doing tons of coverage about it on the channel. But again, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Kevin here, and I'll see you in the next one.